Okay, I'm just giving you a heads up. If you're looking for something to watch tonight, if you're flicking it around and there's lots of movies on and you're not sure what to watch and you come across this movie, don't pass up on it because I'm telling you, it is bloody good. Hey guys, welcome to Happywax TV. So, yeah, I just got done watching this movie, Corporate Animals. You know, I got the trailer sent to me a while ago and I passed on it. I watched it and I thought, maybe it's not my cup of tea. But I'll tell you, man, I had a couple hours this afternoon to spare time, and I sat down and I thought, you know what, if I like it, that's great. If I don't like it, whatever. Man, I loved this movie. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Just very quickly, it's directed by Patrick Bryce, sorry. He's done a couple. Well, he's actually done a ton of work, producing and writing and directing. So just look up his IMDb, man. It's pretty impressive. And then it's written by Sam Bain, and I got to tell you, Sam, bravo. I mean, this movie had me laughing out loud. It was so fucking funny. And then it's got a great cast. Demi Moore's in it. Ed Helm, Jessica Williams, Kareen Scott. Just to name a few, but basically what the synopsis is, and it says this in the trailer. I'll do my very best not to give spoilers, but basically Demi Moore plays Lucy, and she owns a company, and what it's called, where is it called here? It's called, I should know this, Incredible Edibles, and what it is she's made these utensils like forks, knives, and spoons that you can eat. You know what I mean? So it's like to save the planet from plastic, because plastic cutlery does take up a lot of space, and it doesn't break down, and it's not really good stuff. You shouldn't use it. So she comes up with this idea to make all these utensils that you can eat afterwards. I think they're made out of potatoes, I think is what they say in the movie. But anyways, she is an egotistical megalomaniac, if there ever was one, being the CEO of this company. And anyways, it's funny. I tell you, man, Demi Moore is awesome in this movie. You hate her, but you love her, and it's great. And her acting in this film is fucking, no performances in this movie were cashed in. It was like every single person wanted to be in this movie. But what she does is she's taking her company, which consists, I can't remember the number, but there's like 8 or 9 of them. And they go to one of these corporate bonding resort things or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So it starts off, they're trying to move this giant stone or whatever to try and get it up on this pedestal, and they can't do it because they're not working together and all this sort of stuff. And she gets all pissed off at him, and that part is hilarious. But anyways, so then they're going to go into these caves, right? And what she does is Ed Helms who plays Brandon. He's like the escort, I guess, that's taking him through this resort. So he wants to take him through like the novice caves, right? Because they've never done this before. And Demi Moore, being the bitch that she is, forces Ed Helms to take him through like the advanced course. So that's what they do. So they get in there, right? And it's all kind of cool because it's set up so it has lighting inside and stuff. But then there's like a small earthquake, and they get trapped inside. And unfortunately, Ed Helms gets killed. He gets crushed when the wall comes down on him. But man, I'll tell you that what makes this movie so funny. And I'll tell you, and they call it a horror comedy, but really it's a comedy horror. I mean, there's the horror is in there, but it's like maybe like 25% and 75% on the comedy. Like there's gore in it when there needs to be, you know what I mean? Like there's impalement and cannibalism, and head gets squashed and stuff like that. But I'll tell you, man, the comedy in this hits the mark. It was fantastic. It's pretty much, all these people work together, and a couple of them, Jessica Williams and Kareen Scott, Kareen Sony, who played Jess and Freddie, they're kind of fighting for the vice presidency of this company. But it's just, it just brings out the true nature of a lot of people where, you know what I mean? Like you say one thing when you're in public, but then when you're kind of alone or away from these people, like you say totally to other things. And that's what these people finally get to, is they just start speaking their mind and what they really feel about each other. And I'll tell you, man, The jokes work. It's fucking hilarious. You know what I mean? And I don't want to give spoilers for this movie. You know what I mean? So I won't really say. I mean, you can. There's things in the trailer you can pick up on. Like obviously they eat a person in this movie to stay alive. So, but it's great, man. And I thought when they got into the cave, this one section of cave that they're in and they're trapped, I thought, okay, this is gonna drag because this was all in the first act. But it doesn't, because it was almost like a chamber style movie. You know what I mean? Where it's the majority of the movie is just shot in this one section of cave, and that's it because they can't get out. But the good thing that Patrick Bryce does is he kind of expands it a bit, so there's room to move around, and they do find an entrance style to go into a different part of this cave system. So not all of them go, but a few of them kind of, they're trying to escape here and they venture out into this other cave system. And I gotta tell you, they come into this one portion and there's this like cave water or whatever, and like they're so happy to find this because not all of them go, but Jess and Freddie go, and they're so happy to find it that they start drinking the water, and Freddie starts eating there's these salamanders in the water, and he starts eating them. So, and like Jess is saying, don't eat those, you're not supposed to eat those. He's like, I can't help it. So he starts eating them. And there's a puke scene in this movie that rivals the Monty Python Mr. Creosote puke scene. It is fucking hilarious. And then he trips out on these things after, kind of like, when the big thing was like licking toads or something, like, or licking frogs or whatever it was. So he has one of those kind of visions, those where he's just stoned out of his mind, and it turns kind of into a cartoon. And man, I'll tell you, everything about this movie worked for me. I loved it. It was hilarious. I mean, Demi Moore was killer. I mean, everybody in this movie was killer. There wasn't one performance where it felt like it was cashed in. It just felt like a bunch of well-trained actors and actresses who are friends got together and said, you know what? We don't have a ton of cash, but we have a little bit. So let's make this movie. You know what I mean? And it's more or less like 80% shot in this one little cave portion, and it works. It works. I didn't think it was going to, you know what I mean? But it does. And the pacing is fantastic. I wish more directors, you know what I mean, would watch this movie as an example, you know what I mean? And it's not a very long movie. It's only an hour and 28 minutes, but the pacing, it just goes by super fast. It's great. And I mean, the jokes they make, it's just basically what people actually think of each other for the most part. And a lot of it is what people who work side by side, what they actually think. Because when they go in, and the one last thing I'll say here is they break the days down, you know what I mean? It's like day 1, day 2, day 3, and you can just see, I think they get up to day 9, and then you can just see how they start to break down, you know what I mean? And it gets worse and worse and worse each day, and it gets funnier and funnier and funnier, and it's hilarious. I loved this movie. To give it a rating, I would probably give it like a super strong 8. It is really good. And again, it's not that long. It's only an hour and 28 minutes. So, and it just came out. It came out on Friday. So definitely, if you're sitting at home, at night thinking of something to watch and you come across this movie, do not pass it up. I guarantee you will absolutely love it because it was fantastic. So anyways, if you've seen it, let me know what you think of it. If you haven't, go watch it and then come back and leave me some comments down below as to what you guys thought of it. Again, it's called Corporate Animals. I loved it. Solid 8. And yeah, guys, until next time, stay scared.